Hello, and welcome to the first anime club thing that's happening. My name is Michael of Game Cave, and today we're talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Basically what this is, if you don't know, is it's kind of like a book club where you decide what anime you want to watch, and then you come together after you watch it, and you discuss it here on this channel with me live. Shh, be quiet. With me live every first Wednesday of the month. So yeah, that's the dealio. But yeah, we got a few people listening in on a voice chat. We got TheSonicRavn, and we got the Dork Lord, otherwise known as Ganon Dork on YouTube, and we have General Grievous as well. So yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Is that? Sorry,
This
I can't.
is Sonic, yes.
Okay, Sonic. Cool.
Oh, no, it's fine.
So yes, Sonic is on with us right now. I think that the Dork Lord is currently trying to get back from something he was doing, so he won't be able to talk. At the moment, but that's okay. So, yes.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so tell me, is the music... Sonic, is the music too loud?
I'm just letting it catch up, so.
There. I think
Sounds fine in my opinion.
Okay, cool. I think I may have changed something by accident. Just let me quickly do... When I was trying to
That's a
record
good,
something on here.
waiting screen, by the way.
Okay. For some reason... Oh, you know what? It's... Wait, no. Show chat. For some reason I can't see my chat. That's weird. Like it's completely gone. I'm sure people are already commenting and I'm not able to see them.
Actually, it's not on my screen too.
It's not on yours?
No, it's still not there for me. Oddly enough.
Weird. I wonder if YouTube is... Wait. Wait. Okay. Well, it looks like it's back up again, but... Okay, let me... I can't see if there are any comments yet or not. Doesn't look like there are, and that's okay. No worries. What's up, Frodo? I have Frodo with me because otherwise, if I don't, he's gonna be really loud and annoying. So... And I don't want that for my fam.
Yeah. Oh, okay, wait. I think it's working now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you, Sonic. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, I guess I'm just lagging because it's kind of a different format that I'm using than normal.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyways, let's get to the discussion, shall we?
I
So,
believe so. Is everybody else ready, I guess? So
I mean, sure. Yeah, we can figure that out. New mentions. I have a mention on the Discord. Here. General.
Yes.
I think I may be on mute and don't know how to turn it off. Oh, okay. So...
You are on mute. You've got to... Right beside your name at the bottom left, there is a mic. Just press that.
Yeah, there's a little microphone
wait.
button.
No, that's my problem. I fixed it. That is my fault. You're
Oh,
on
okay.
server mute
Okay.
because it's a locked thing. Discord.
Ah, oh, okay, I got you. Cool. So we figured that out. So... What's new with Word? I don't care what's new with Word. I just want to pull up the Word document. Okay. Here we go. So, it still looks like the Dork Lord is still on mute. So.
Okay, so press.
Do you think he has to exit first and then come back in? It's possible.
Okay.
What are you
one
doing?
more. I'm gonna kick you, and then I'm gonna try to bring you back.
Bye. Bye, Ganon. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the comment section so I can
Alright.
see if anyone's commenting.
Just
And
end the
general,
call again.
General, if you're
And
listening
just end the
in,
call.
if you don't mind,
Cut
if you're
back.
going to write any comments, if you're going to write any responses or anything like that, write them in the comments on YouTube. Just because it's going to be hard for me to go back and forth between Discord and YouTube. I'm just going to stay on YouTube for now. So yeah. Technical difficulties on the first.
There we go.
On the first stream, of
Say
course.
something? Shoot. Thought we had it working.
Well, it doesn't look like he's still on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
wait.
I don't know.
No, wait.
Yeah, you do have a mic plugged in, right? Or some sort of audio device? Just making sure.
Or if you're using your phone, like, it would just come up on your phone microphone.
Yeah. I think he said he's on PC, I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm General. I got you, Kyle. Well, I got you, Darth. General Grievous. You're good. Let's figure out these technical difficulties with Ganondorf before we get started.
Yeah, it's first stream. Just trying to got the kinks.
Yeah. Just gotta work everything out. What do you think of the setup? What do you think of the little pocket watch on the wooden background and the?
It looks very good. I was trying to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just took that picture today and was like, oh, I need a background for the stream. So I put it on my wooden table and just, you know, setup is dope. Thanks. Hey.
Okay, wait. You know what? I'm going. Let's see. I'm just gonna make this an open lobby for now.
Okay, that's fine.
works.
Yeah, that might help. But if anyone pops on there, do you mind just like if it's someone we don't want on there? Yeah.
Oh, look, we've got Levis in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Levis.
Hey, what's up, Rose? If you want to, you can join the VC. You don't have to be talking on it though. You can be on mute if you want to hear what's going on. I don't know if you've ever seen Fullmetal Alchemist. I know that when we were talking about it, you didn't seem to say much about it. So, I'm assuming you haven't. But if you have, then great, and feel free to join the discussion and talk about things. But if you haven't and you want to, we're definitely going to be spoiling major parts of it today. So, if you want to check it out and you don't want to be spoiled, then go watch it, and then you can check the recorded version of this later. But I'm not, you know, you can stick around. It's up to you. This is a free stream. It's not a free country because I know we don't all live in the same country, but it's a free stream.
Oh, it says you don't show to be unmuted on my screen.
Yeah, I don't see mute either. Maybe I have to like do something.
That could be possible.
Let's try going into another voice chat. Go into general.
Yes, that's. Yeah, I'll just
Ganon.
go to the general chat. No.
Just go into the general. What about now? Still nothing. That's weird.
Okay. If this doesn't work, sometimes it happens to me. Just quit Discord entirely and come back.
Oh. Okay, let's go back to the stream talk lobby then.
Oh shoot! Is your stream crashed on your end?
Is it crashed on your end?
Looks like it is.
Oh, I don't see it crashed. We got 7 people watching though. That's pretty awesome. We're still trying to figure out technical difficulties for anyone that's new out there. We're just trying to figure out the technical stuff because this is the first time we've done a stream like this. So if you're new and you're curious what's going on, then that's what's happening.
That's really sad. We can't get Ganondorf. That's
yeah, I know.
that's
It's
weird.
upsetting. I have talked to him on voice chat before. I think. Have I? I can't remember.
Okay.
Let's just stay in
I'm gonna
general
try
for
one
now.
last thing. I'm gonna try one last thing. Do I have you friended? Dork. Let's see. Profile. Okay, I'm gonna send a friend request. And to you, Grievous. I'm just gonna try going into a voice call and see if that works.
Okay,
So
do I have to go anywhere?
Okay.
What's up? I saw some of it, just don't have time to finish it, but I don't care about splits. Oh, okay, cool. Well, then that's fine. You know, do what you gotta do, Rose. It's all up to you. This is a free stream.
Okay, that's not gonna work either.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel bad not
I
having
do too.
Ganondorf on here, because he was really excited about being on here for...
Yeah, no, it's... how about you stay in the call again, Dorka? Just try to figure it out, like, unplugging your mic. Maybe it's an OBS setting you've got running. Could be it.
Yeah. I know that
know
I
why that
sometimes have
affected
trouble with my... What was that? I know that I sometimes have trouble with my OBS settings and my mic. Sometimes it will just not work and I'll have to turn it completely off and on again. So that might be something.
Because I remember you were having some stream troubles earlier, so it could very well just be an OBS thing. OBS troublesome.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's what you get for a free program.
It's a perfectly fine free program. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, it's a good free program. I'm just saying, like, you know,
even professionals still use OBS over other platforms. It's just
yeah.
Because when it works amazingly.
It does. It really does. And it's very easy to learn how to use it. It only took me like a few hours to get the stuff down.
But I do have one more thing I could try. Alright, I'm lowering the bit rate so our voices won't sound as good.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, so I moved to my phone.
Okay, there's some feedback though.
I think that's just because he's on a speaker or something.
Oh, okay. Is the stream muted? That might be the thing too.
Okay, it's also that my headphones pick up like everything that goes on. So
oh, okay.
that might.
That's fine.
Cool. Well, we got everyone now, so we're good.
Levis is apparently joining.
And yeah, like I said, Levis, if you want to go into the voice chat that we have set up, can I join the VC for less delay? Yeah, that's fine. Do that. That's why I have everyone else in there too. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. You know, you don't have to be unmuted. I know you're a very private person, so... What are you doing? Stay over here. Okay. I love having a bird, but I also hate having a bird. He is a beautiful...
Perfect. We finally got everything up and running.
Yeah.
Finally.
Okay, so, if any of you have questions, we'll do like a little question comment thing. Or if you have anything you want answered or want to talk about, that's fine. But let's just start out first by choosing an overall rating for this show from... What? Sorry, Frodo. Frodo's being really annoying right now. Come on. What are you doing? Okay. An overall rating from 1 to 10. What would you guys give it from 1 to 10?
I think... Oh, you go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, how about we do Ganon goes first and Sonic goes second? Since you guys are the only other people talking.
Okay, I would personally, I would give it a 10 out of 10. I really loved the story. and it just made a lot more sense to me than a lot of the other things I've seen recently.
Yeah.
That's pretty good rating.
Bit more
Frodo, go
realistic.
away.
Also, hi, Crimson Rose, whatever you love us. Welcome.
Whichever one you want to be called.
Me, I'd probably give it somewhere between 7 and 8. I'm leaning toward more than an 8, but I've got a couple things which we'll discuss, and I might change my rating by the end of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
What about you,
that's
Mike?
fair.
And-
I just wanted like a 9 out of 10 so far says Rose, and an 8 out of 10. General Grievous says an 8 out of 10. Which is good. I would say anything more than a 7 is a pretty good rating for this show. I don't think I've ever met a person who said less than a 7. My dad has actually watched this show, and he hates anime, and he really liked it. So, you know, I don't think
That's
that
something.
yeah, I encouraged him to watch it, and he was like, fine, I will. He even put up with watching it on Crunchyroll, because at the time, it wasn't on Netflix at all. So we watched it free on Crunchyroll with like a bazillion ads for the Pennsylvania lottery, and it was terrible. But, you know, he got through it, and he really enjoyed it. I would say for me, I would probably give this anime a 9 out of 10, because, like, I don't think there can be, like, this is just my own personal opinion. If you feel differently, that's fine. But I don't think there can ever be something that is, like, 100% perfect, you know? There's always going to be something that you don't like about a certain thing, even if it's a tiny little element.
1 to 10, a perfect would be an 11.
I guess so, yeah.
Since you can't get perfect, why would 10 be perfect?
Well, that's an interesting idea, actually.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. So maybe I would give it a 10 out of 10, but not an 11 out of 10. So, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite animes that I've ever seen, and I've probably seen... I haven't seen a lot of animes, but I've seen about a dozen, perhaps.
That's
if
a lot more than I have.
Yes, me as
So
well.
yeah, I just really enjoyed watching it the first time, and then I watched it with my dad, and then I just watched it again recently to catch up on everything. So yeah, I'm glad that we're all at least past a 7, that we can agree on that this show is pretty good, you know.
It's good. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. That's good.
Does anyone else have any questions they want to ask? Any comments or something they want to talk about?
I think we should probably go through the list and then at the end, or interject, like, natural discussion, see how that goes.
So through my list that I have? Or just through, like...
It's quite a big list.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just wrote down some points. We don't have to talk about all of them. Well, okay, well, so Crimson Rose just suggested something. She said we should talk about our favorite character. I do have that on the list, and I said I probably wouldn't be doing it in order. So, let's talk about our favorite characters. So, General Grievous, you can feel free to write in the comments now as we're going. Crimson, if you have one so far, then you can put that one in there too. Ganon, take it away.
So, me personally, I think Mustang is the most rounded and well-written character.
Okay, cool.
His arc is really well done, in my opinion, and he goes through a lot, and he comes out a strong, changed person and more mature person. All the characters really do, but I think Mustang
is there like a
is
dog?
the
I'm
best.
sorry. There's some like noise.
Oh yeah, I just had to go let my...
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Don't worry.
Just curious. I just heard like a slobbery noise, and I was like, what's going on?
Oh, it's my stuffy nose, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine too. You know, allergy season, all that. But yeah, Ganon, continue. Sorry for interrupting.
I don't know, it was actually Sonic who was talking.
Oh, Sonic. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty much finished my thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Favorite character? That's actually really hard for me. Like, I feel like it's really cliche to say the main character is the best character.
Well,
I feel like they're all really well-rounded characters. It's really hard for me to pick out a favorite.
mm-hmm. That's understandable.
If I did, it would probably be Hawkeye.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, that's good choice.
I really like a lot of them. General Grievous said Alphonse, which I completely understand. Alphonse is definitely the lighter, the cooler-headed Elric brother, for sure. And his arcs throughout the story about trying to get his body back and not being able to feel anything and not being able to, not being able to. Yeah. His soul is in a suit of armor, and he's just not able to live a normal life, and that's great. And I think that was a very well played out plot development for him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would have to say that my favorite character is Edward. I don't know. For a few reasons. It would probably be the same reasons that I feel so connected to Link in The Legend of Zelda, because when I was young, I played Wind Waker, and Wind Waker has a young Link, and he's like this little kid, this bright-eyed kid who loves the ocean and stuff, so I really related to that because I loved that when I was a kid. And when it came to Edward, I started watching it when I was in my angsty teenage years, so I kind of understand that development for him too, where he's like stepping into an adult position and really trying to take on a lot that he may or may not be able to handle by himself. And I really love the brother dynamic between him and Alphonse. So that's just who I like the best and who I relate to. So, yeah. I don't know. There are so many that I like. Maybe Father. Ooh. That's interesting.
The villain
Crimson Rose.
Spectacular.
Not to say any spoilers, but I would say that Father's philosophy is kind of similar to Thanos's, just a little bit. I would explain why, but I don't want to spread any really big spoilers until people have the chance. So if you want to know, you can DM me and ask, or I can just,
Spoilers for what?
I disagree, and I don't want to spoil anything because you brought up the question. But Thanos' motivation in Infinity War is more motivated toward balance, which is a big theme in FMA. But Father's is more disrupting the balance and overcoming it.
Yeah,
he wants to be one side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because
I see your idea though.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you if you want in another. Was that Sonic who just said that, or was that Ganon?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. When I don't see the little bubbles, it's kind of hard to tell, just because.
It's alright. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, Father. That's a very interesting idea because not many people root for the villain, unless of course it's like a Disney villain or something.
I think I kind of disagree because Infinity War. I don't know. This is an Infinity War discussion, but
yeah,
I think Thanos was the best character in Infinity War, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like that was definitely like the Thanos movie. We'll move away from Infinity War now, but like that was definitely there were all these different movies for all the different characters, and that one was to develop Thanos, who we've been waiting for development for a long time. Let's move away from that. Sorry to bring Infinity War into an FMA discussion, but it's topical. So
let's move down our list of questions.
Sure.
All right. How about the philosophy of Ed and Al? Because let's talk about characters since we're already on that discussion.
Sure.
Yeah. Seems like a good way to go.
And I do have one problem that I thought might be an interesting discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the brothers' dynamic and personalities, it's kind of reversed.
Yeah.
And it can't be because beginning of the show, I noticed they're kind of childish and silly, and they only really mature towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But they just went through this traumatic experience, right? You'd expect them to kind of loosen up and then see the meaning of life and enjoy the life as the show goes on. But I felt like he kind of reversed that in a way.
Yeah. I can see where you're getting from that.
What?
I can see what you're getting from that. That makes sense. Like, they definitely did do a humongous arc through that entire story. So that makes a lot of sense. So that was, who was that who just said that? I'm sorry.
It's Sonic, yeah.
Okay. So, Ganon, what do you think about the philosophy of Ed and Al?
Well, I kind of almost agree with them. Like, they really want to get their bodies back.
Mm-hmm.
But not so much that they're willing to do anything for it.
Yeah.
As we saw multiple times, they wouldn't do human transmutation. They wouldn't use a philosopher's stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wanted more to save people than they wanted to save themselves multiple times throughout the show.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
How they would do that, even though they're, as Sonic pointed out, they're just kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the show point that out too. Like, the entire last season is like all of the adults being like, oh, we can't just let Ed and Al do all the hard stuff, you know, like, we gotta do stuff too. So I liked that, the fact that they kept referencing the fact that they were kids, even though they barely feel like children being in the situations that they are.
And I wonder though if that was just kind of like an anime trope that they had to fit in, because they don't like, it's typical of anime to have younger characters, right?
Yeah, it's more relatable, you know.
Yeah, because they don't really feel like they're written that way, except for a few parts. But I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm kind of torn on them, in my opinion.
Yeah, when they go to the north, when they go, what was that?
I thought it was good to see how they kind of grew into the responsibilities that were thrust upon them. Like, at the very beginning of the storyline, where they had all the knowledge thrust upon them so they could do the alchemy by just clapping their hands together, that praying gesture, and then transmute. Yeah. Like, they couldn't just sit around with that power, and they accepted that they had to go do something. They couldn't just sit there and wait for stuff to happen and have things come to them. They went out and tried to help other people.
Well, they kind of did and they didn't, because didn't Mustang and Hawkeye come to kind of say, hey, want to come join us?
Yeah. But also, that was still when it was fresh. He had just lost his mother, nearly lost his brother, lost both an arm and a leg. I mean, there is a period of shock where you have to give him some slack for that.
And that's what I was trying to say. Comes back to one of my bigger problems is they feel like they should be like mature from the start of the show, but they're the most childish then. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of because they just saw this traumatic experience, right? Like at that point, I think they would have lost their childhood.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I get what you're both saying. Like, it does take some time to deal with the trauma, but at the same time, like, something that traumatic would make you, like, instantly realize that life is awful, and it's gonna hit you in the gut every second that it gets, you know? So, it makes sense from both sides. I feel like if Mustang didn't intervene and, like, recruit Ed and Al, then it's possible they would have slowly worked toward that. And by the time they were ready to become state alchemists, it would already been too late. Father would have already gone through with his plans. So I think that Roy Mustang getting in there was just like the push out the door for them, because otherwise everything would have gone wrong. And like Roy said, well, Hawkeye said to Roy, she said, oh, that kid had so much pain and suffering in his eyes. And he was like, that's what you saw? That was, what I saw was, I can't remember what he said. Did he say determination? Or did he say, like, fire? Did he say there was fire in those eyes? I can't remember. Something along those lines. Something inspiring.
I did actually learn something kind of interesting, because I remember, because I was looking through your list, and I forgot who Hohenheim was. Yeah. Because I just think of him as, the real father. Yeah. So I looked him up, And
Uh-huh.
he's actually a German philosopher alchemist.
Yeah, they actually pulled a lot of really interesting
Oh, yeah.
things into the show that I
Führer.
yeah, well, I mean, yes, that's probably the most obvious one. But it would surprise you when you actually look up symbols or when you look up places
Yeah.
or stuff like that. They actually have a real world connection. I feel is General, are you still out there, General Grievous? If you want to say something in the comments about your feelings on the Elric brothers philosophy.
Oh yeah, he's still there.
Um,
What do you want us to call you? Do you want us to call you Grievous or Kyle or Darth Kyle?
he's told me before he likes General Grievous, but if he wants us to call him whatever, you know, I don't care. But for me, what I see is that I think that the philosophy the philosophy of Edenal is probably one of the better philosophies. Just for me personally, because if it came down to it, I probably wouldn't use a Philosopher's Stone, you know, to save my own butt or whatever, or you know, to get my body back. Whereas plenty of other people in the show probably would. So yeah, I think that was
like at the end, Mustang did and had the
Dr. Marco
cigar guy get his
and
legs
Havoc.
back.
That's his friend there that lost them because of lust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I mean, that one was.
Point, I agree with his philosophy there because these people cannot be returned. If you leave them in that state, they died in vain.
Yeah.
At the very least, they could be used to help people. Creating and using it is very different because I don't think
I would say using it with respect. Because like if you just use like, oh look, this guy left this huge thing of power here. Who cares if it's people?
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh, this is people's lives, let's use it for a good cause. I think it's kind of different.
While we're on that topic,
is all let's use this to destroy things. He didn't create it, but he still used it for killing other people.
I have a question in here. I have a question in here. Do you think that would you use the Philosopher's Stone like Alphonse did to stop Pride and Kimberly near the end of the show, which is basically what we're talking about right now. I feel like someone like Father, who uses the stones to his advantage and doesn't care, his philosophy is kind of bad.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And
but not only is he using it for the bad purposes, he's basically he's killed these people already. Like, so, and plans to kill more, quite obviously.
Yeah.
The show. Sorry, Rose, if you're not there yet. There will be spoilers. We'll try to keep the 2 minute mark though.
I mean, it was kind of in the title, so if they came and it was like, oh wait, crap, I don't know what this is. The virus.
But would you, in that situation, if you were faced with two adversaries that you couldn't do anything about, and they were much stronger than you, and you didn't really have much mobility, and, you know, your magic lion friend pulled a Philosopher's Stone out of his pocket and was just like, hey, use this. Would you guys use it, basically?
I think I'd use it a lot earlier before that. My moral standings on that matter isn't nearly as high.
Well, I mean, I probably would have done what Al did. Like, using these people's souls that he has in his hand, these few people's souls, to stop the people who are trying to literally consume the world, I think is a cause that those people in the stones probably would have liked. Like, Hohenheim spent years talking with the people inside of him, and they discussed what they would do to stop Father. And they all agreed that yes, he needs to be stopped. And so I feel like the people in the stones would probably have the same opinions because they've basically been enslaved as Father in this stone for a long time.
Now, I don't know if, because at that point, as we've discussed, or the show says, there's no way to save them. They are there.
Yeah.
They're stuck there. Nothing we can do.
The only time
would bring it. Oh, go ahead, sir.
The only time we actually see like the souls come back to life is at the very end when Father, like, literally brings the people from Xerxes back to life.
Even then, that was like a half-life.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like you're saying, it was kind of just a wrong thing for him to do. You know.
So, I mean, the first thing I'd do is give it to probably a hospital or some sort of medical foundation, because
let's say, like,
if you can use lives to save lives, you know.
We're talking whole human soul here, so let's say a leg equals one of their legs, right? So, in theory, you could save upwards of 10 to 15 people per soul in that stone.
Yeah. Like,
depending on what
first
you were doing
stop
with it,
the guys who are trying to create more stones, in my opinion.
But it's equivalent exchange, so a soul for a soul. You know, if someone was dead, you'd have to waste the whole soul, you know, I don't know. It took me a while to get equivalent exchange down, you know, I was just kind of confused on it the first time I watched the show.
Yeah, I mean, but like also like souls versus actual like physical things is probably something that's only going to be speculation. Only people who wrote the show can tell you how many sold to like an arm or leg or something.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it when I was much younger,
but
so
when I might be wrong, but there's a part of it where he's building himself back together. I think it was envy or something. And when they're in his stomach, and we literally see one of their souls just disappear.
Yeah.
Like their arm or their leg or something. I might be wrong. It's been a couple months for me. I just read recaps before I came on here.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're all in agree. I think we can all agree that even though a Philosopher's Stone, if you recognize that what it's made of is what it is, then you can use it as long as you're using it to its fullest potential and to help others, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because leaving it, because in my opinion, leaving it just there is a bigger disrespect to the souls than it is not.
Yeah. So you think
Lewis, if you want to join, just go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah. And Grievous too. Grievous is a bit quiet. I know you.
Basically, you guys would say that something like using it for medical use would be okay, or using it to help you fight against some stronger adversary would be okay, but like using it for one person, aka a homunculus, would not be okay.
Oh yeah, of course not. No, that's evil.
Yeah. No, I'm just listening. Okay, well, you know, if there's anything you want to bring up, guys, then just feel free to say it, or if you have a question about anything, just, you know. Do you want to talk about the philosophy of Father? I think we already kind of discussed that.
Well,
you know, tied in with everything else. But
I think a lot of it can be discussed over the general philosophy of the show. It actually kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
It was a lot more religiously toned and a lot more science toned than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's actually how I sold it to my dad. I was like, there's a great divide between religion and science in the show, and he's really big on that. And
it does really actually, which you don't see a lot these days, but it kind of says that you need a mix life, because I think the biggest example was the episode, I forget the name of it, I'll have to pull up the episode this year, but the episode where they go to the church and they stop the priest from using the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, one of the first episodes.
And then right after we get episode 4, I don't think we need to talk about that one.
Oh yeah, Connect 2. So anyways, I think, you know, we kind of covered the philosophy of Father talking about everything else. But what do you guys think of the philosophy of Scar? Killing those who may not necessarily be guilty, like Ed, who, even though he is a state alchemist, was not a part of the Ishvalan extermination. Yeah. So, you know, like, what do you think about that? Do you think
a lot of this really does come down to comparisons to World War II? Mm-hmm. And if you put it in the context of he's a person of Jewish descent,
yeah,
he's killing off Nazis,
mm-hmm.
then the lines become a little bit more blurred. But because we're basically from the eyes of the Nazis,
yeah,
for a majority of the show, and obviously the brothers are an exception,
mm-hmm.
It's very blurred. And he does redeem himself. He does realize what he's done is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quite surprised because, I mean, the show early on paints him to be like this really evil guy.
Yeah.
And he isn't. He's a person with a family.
I'm going to turn you up just a little bit.
What he's doing, it kind of makes sense. Everybody he knows was killed, and I think if I was in that situation, I would probably do the same thing as he did.
Yeah.
For example, though, like, if we, a big example of this is Inglourious Basterds. Have any of you guys seen that, like the Terrence Hill movie?
Nah.
Nope.
No. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it because you should go watch it. That's probably can't watch that for the movie.
No,
reviews.
Probably not.
But it has a lot of Jewish people hunting down Nazis.
Yeah.
And they're painted as the hero, and but in this though, it really does have this kind of undertones because they take it to the extreme. And you gotta wonder when is too far, and I think Scar does realize this, and he knows when to come down and realize violence isn't the answer, and not everyone who fought was necessarily evil.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like, it's hard. Like you said, we're kind of seeing it in basically the eyes of the Nazis. What would be the Nazis if, you know, if you gave it a different skin, a World War II skin, then it would be, we would be seeing it from the view of the Nazis, and Scar would be the view of the Jews. And honestly, I never thought of it that way. Even with things like Führer and the obvious parallels between extermination of an entire religion, I honestly I never saw it exactly in the light of World War II. I saw it more of like, I don't think I have an example of how I saw it when I first watched it.
I did kind of take it as its own thing when I did watch it, because clearly it's not, because Germany wins too, so that happens.
So, you know, I don't know. It's interesting that you say that, because I never really thought of it in that way. I just kind of thought, you know, like, especially when I found out why the Ishvalans were exterminated in the first place, I kind of just thought of it as one part of the grand plan of the homunculus and father. So I wasn't really focusing on it in a historical way, more as I was just...
Well, I don't really think you can either, because... But it does clearly have these overtones, and it does change the context to a lot of what you see.
Of course. But yeah, I've just never thought of it that way, and now I have a different perspective on that, and a different perspective on Scar. I always liked Scar as a character. I knew that he was going to have a redemption arc from the beginning. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, I like people who, like, grab people by the forehead and blow their brains out. But I'm saying, like, he was an interesting character that kind of threw this new twist to the show. I thought he was always going to be the antagonist from the beginning. And then I started learning about the homunculus and father, and I was like, oh, wow, this guy is just another pawn in the giant scheme of things that, you know, the government has going on. And that's why he joined, reluctantly, of course, with the Elrics and the Resistance, like, you know, Roy Mustang and Hawkeye and all those people. He joined with them in the end because it was the lesser of two evils to him, you know.
And I did also notice, I keep forgetting his name. I've got it right here. Shao Tucker, the guy that killed, that does the thing to the dog daughter. He's very reminiscent of the of the scientists doing these experiments during why can't I remember it?
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called either, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm thinking of a specific camp.
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz?
Auschwitz,
yeah.
Yes, thank you. And it was at the tip of my tongue. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't believe I never noticed that before. And I'm like someone, my grandfather fought in World War II, and he told me stories about it all the time. And so it just completely skipped my mind that he, like, all the stories he told me had no correlation to this show that I love so much until now. Until now, I'm realizing all of these connections. Because I always just kind of thought it in a fantasy world. It's interesting, though. They do this kind of twist at the end of FMAB, where there are a lot of parallels to World War II. I'm not going to spoil anything because I really want you guys to watch it. But at the very end, it's kind of like you see how much it is built. At least FMAB was to me when I watched that. How much it was built around the idea of World War II. So watch that. The ending is very different than Brotherhood, but it's still good. And I think you guys would like it, especially if you guys picked up on this whole World War II thing before I did. So.
Alright guys, I gotta go. I've got a piano lesson coming.
Okay, that's fine. So Ganondorf, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I hope you.
Be on next time.
Yeah, I hope you can make it to the movie stream that we're going to be doing next Wednesday, which is going to be on the Truman Show. So if you just watched,
yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, if you just watched that movie, if you've seen it already, that's fine. But yeah, have a good day. Thank you for coming.
We should probably put an announcement out right after the stream, just in case anyone misses and wants to join in.
Sure. Anyways, let's continue. Gosh, my entire mind has been blown by this thing I never realized. Let's talk about Maze Hugh's death.
Oh yeah,
if
that's
you want to. Sonic, since you're the only one talking, I'll kind of be like, do you want to talk about this? You know.
Sure. I do.
So, do you think that Maze Hugh's death affected the story greatly enough that if it didn't happen, you would never know the difference? Or do you think that it needed to happen?
Very clearly it needed to happen, especially for the arc of a lot of characters. Hawkeye, particularly, because you see Hawkeye. Not Hawkeye, I'm sorry, I'm thinking
Mustang. Yeah, that's fine.
Apologies.
Well, I mean, Hawkeye kind of had her own stuff with it.
He was very, what do you call it? Passive. He didn't really like, he was passive-aggressive toward Hughes, and his death really kind of opens his eyes and does start his intrigue. As well, if the information had gone out, chances are it wouldn't have gone anywhere and everyone would have just been killed off anyways.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what would have happened anyways, and everyone still would have died.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it was important that he died. The reason I put that question in there is because my brother didn't think it was actually a very necessary plot thing that if Maze Hughes never died, then it would have made a difference. But I just thought I would ask you guys because I never thought that in the show. I always thought like that needed to happen to make things go the way they went.
Who thought that didn't happen?
My brother, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that in there and ask what you thought because honestly, what he thought was very different.
Disagrees with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
Is there anything that pops out to you question-wise that you'd like to talk about in this list?
Oh yes. Yeah, let's get it. Alright. I don't know. Think he's okay.
What's that? What's going on now?
What are we gonna see next session? Anime. I think it was going to be, what was it called?
Violet Evergarden.
Violet Evergarden.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think it's a Netflix exclusive. So, but you would probably be able to find it.
Too, like only 12 episodes, right?
I think it's 13, but yeah, you know, it's short. It's much shorter than FMA was. It's very good. So if you do have Netflix, then I suggest watching it and coming to the next anime session. On the next session, though, it's going to happen next Wednesday. Sorry, I'm moving something on my desk, so if you hear any bouncing on the microphone, that's what it was. The next session, here's how the schedule is going to go. First Wednesday of every month is going to be anime-based, because, you know, anime is usually a show-based thing that takes, you know, 24 episodes or so, give or take. So we thought we would give you guys a month to be able to watch, you know, what you needed to for that. And the other 3 Wednesdays of the month would be movie months, and on those the other 3 Wednesdays of the month would be movie weeks, sorry. And you would watch a movie, and come back next Wednesday and discuss that. That movie is The Truman Show. Very good comedy with Jim Carrey, if you don't know who he is. He's
very topical as well.
Yeah, he's hilarious, and it's, you know, it's kind of, it is topical, and it's very, it makes you think about, you know, if you're being watched on a TV. So, you know, it's good. It's a very good movie.
That stream will probably be shorter too as well, because
yeah,
it's less to talk about.
Yeah, it's less to talk about. But yes, we'll every other Wednesday of the month. So three weeks will be dedicated to movies, and 1 week will be dedicated to anime. Every month, as long as there are 4 Wednesdays within the month, you know, calendars. So. Yeah, anyways, is there a question you wanted to talk about on here, Sonic?
I think you said something about, is the truth a villain?
Oh, okay, so I think that's near the bottom. Oh, okay, so what is your overall impression on the truth? Do you think the truth is a good guy, a bad guy, or do you think that he or she, you know, it's kind of an it? So you usually hear it talking.
Rose is leaving, so.
Okay, that's fine. Have a good day, Rose. I hope to see you next time. Yeah, go and enjoy Hat's stream. So.
Hat's pretty cool.
Yeah, Hat is cool. So yes. I just said he for that because most of the time when you hear the truth talking, it's to Edward, and Edward's truth represents the male physique. So I just put he in there. It's technically just a thing. It's a god, so it's a it.
I don't think it's a villain. I don't think it's anything really. I think it's the middle. It's not necessarily to pass judgment, but it's a weird thing.
Yeah, for sure. When I first watched it, I didn't know what to think about the truth. I was just kind of like, what's this? Like, they're throwing in like another thing for me to try and understand, and so it was confusing at first, but then I started to learn about it.
I very much enjoyed it. I think it was interesting concept. I kind of wish they built a little bit more on it, or had a little bit more of whatever it is in there, because I really do like that abstract kind of ideas and philosophies that throws in there. I think everyone's truth is different, obviously, because I think the answer to Eric's was different. I don't know.
What's that?
Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. At first I thought it was going to be a bad guy because, you know, obviously he stole the body of Al and he stole the arm and leg of Edward. But then I kind of understood the philosophy of equivalent exchange. So that, you know, made me think maybe it's just like an order-based thing, you know, like, you know, to get something you have to give something away. It was just kind of a weird thing for me. So I really don't know what to say about it. And I just thought I'd throw it in there to see if you guys had anything you wanted to talk about the truth about, you know, what you guys thought about it. So
let's ask the question: what season do you think was the strongest? I'm gonna ask Grievous too. I want Grievous's opinion on here because
sure,
interaction.
Yeah. Well, you go first. What do you think?
Sorry, repeat that. You kind of cut out.
Okay. What do you think? What's your favorite season?
Oh, mine is the 5th, because there wasn't a second of that where I was not fully engaged in what was going on. It was so well paced, directed, and visually entertaining, stylized. I was blown away.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the Infinity War of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, it really was. I gotta say, I think that the first season was probably my favorite. Just because I really like going back to shows that I haven't seen and watching, you know, the characters before they were really developed. And when the, you know, the producers and directors of the show were just trying to get into the idea and trying to get their ideas out there. So I like that it's not slow, but it's also not fast. And the characters, if you're just watching it for the first time, you're introducing yourself to this world that is like mystical and yet scientific at the same time. So it's probably my favorite. I'm gonna say 5. This is what General Grievous said. I'm gonna say 5 because that's when some interesting stuff happens. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Cool.
Okay. I gotta agree.
Yeah.
Season 1,
I mean, I love 5. I loved all the seasons. You know, I love the show. So, to pull out one season that like trumps the rest is kind of hard for me, which is why I said the first, because it was like.
I have to say, I don't know if you know my opinions on one. I'm gonna share them just because I'm gonna debate. Yeah. Because I did not enjoy 1 at all. I thought 1 was very bad.
Yeah.
Like awful.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I can.
I'm just gonna give my reasons why, because I'm glad I did go through it, because it does have its high point. I think episode 4 is a high point. I think some of the moments in the episodes, like Maze and all his arc and what happens, a lot of that afterwards. but a lot of it is just annoying. It's exposition. I think there's a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Characters are kind of annoying, and they do calm down towards the end and prior seasons, but they're just kind of way too out there because obviously they're just trying to get all this exposition and to help you understand the world, and it doesn't really fit. It makes sense.
That I can. You know, I see it in a. I've only. Just kind of like relive. That's why. But
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I understand that low and that's that if I were five.
Yeah. Are you saying anything, or did you cut out? I can't.
Alright. Hello? Not able to hear.
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah.
That was weird. Sorry.
That might be me. Give me 2 seconds. Just go check.
Pause. How have you been, Jenna? Are you excited? Working out.
Sorry, what happened?
I was just asking, General Grievous.
I think it will. I think it just needs to be refined a little bit for next time. Make sure everything gets up working before stream starts. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just the fact that a little late. Difficulty. So maybe if that happens next time. Try
and I do feel we've also talked.
What was that?
Yeah. I also feel like we've already talked a lot about the show, so there's more we could go over. Because we're all very happy and satisfied with our experience.
So do you think you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm pretty much done unless you have something.
Yeah, I mean, I would like all gave Metal Alchemist. Thought it was.
Yeah, I think I'm setting about. So I think I've decided on an 8 now. I think the more I look back at it.
Yeah, that's good. You know, if out there watching this, check out our next. Talk about.
Yeah.
But so at it. anime next first.
Yeah.
Sixth of that will be Violet Evergarden. Start watching that. Haven't already. Wednesday, 9th. May.
I could put a thing in announcements.
Sure.
And for both of you.
Wednesday, the 9th of May. On Netflix. Sonic is. Find it. But if you are able to find it, I highly recommend you watch it. It's a very good movie. Very fun. All of these 4 o'clock.
Yes.
4 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, just Violet Evergarden. Thank you all for coming.
Bye.
Have a great